Welcome to Never a Dull Moment. I'm Greg Blythe. This is Gabriel Blythe. This is my son, my much taller son. In case in some of the video you don't see all of his head, we're flipping back and forth through cameras. So he's 6'4", I'm not. And we're going to have fun today. So here's the situation. My wife is behind the camera. My son has sharpened knives, and he learned over the internet through a FaceTime.
Yeah, and once a really long time ago as well, when I was first here and we were first getting into knives, and your collection just started, I learned all the way back then, had forgotten, and then relearned over the internet.
Okay, so he lives in Vancouver, Canada, and there's a Knifewear right around the corner. And the staff at Knifewear were incredible. You guys might remember we did an interview with Kevin Kent. I'll put a link in the description. So Kevin was very nice. Gabriel went down. We did not know Kevin at the time. Gabriel went through Knifewear. They hooked him up with what we needed. So he has a knife sharpening kit that's a 1,000 grit, and he has a stone holder.
Yeah.
You don't have a sink bridge. Do you have another stone at all?
Yeah, I have this. It's the only stone that we had before. It's an oil stone, which is a very interesting experience.
It's super gritty.
Oh yeah, I think it's double sided. One
just harsh.
Yeah,
it sounds like you're on a gravel road.
Super rough.
Yeah. So that's kind of his rough grinding. He really doesn't have, even though it's rough, it's not really great for removing chips. And his mom has a global knife that has a bunch of chips in it, and you've been able to make it sharp, but still have the chips in it. It's really going to be too much work. What I wanted to do with him is, for one, be in the same room, because we've not done a sharpening in the same room. So for those of you watching who are new to sharpening, as it comes up, he'll share a thought, a question, I'll answer. Maybe his question will help you. Maybe my answer will help you. And I'll get to see the world through his eyes. So we're going to go through a knife sharpening. So what I did was I got our knives out from Whetstone Wars. These are the Mortataka 210 Super Blue steel. He has not used any type of super high quality steel like the Super Blue. We're very fortunate to be sponsored by Tokushu Knife, who had donated these. We use them all the time. We get them extremely sharp. So we are going to dull this knife, and then we are going to go over the process. So the knife you'll be using, we're going to
the yucky part.
Yeah, the yucky part. So we are going to make the knife dull.
Knife cringe factor.
Exactly.
On here.
It's cringy.
Will you hand
nails on a chalkboard?
Will you hand me a piece of paper over there? Not the paper towel, but the regular paper.
Oh yeah, gone.
So we hope to improve that. So there you go. That's for you. I have one that's sharp right now. Hold on. Let me get the good side. So we're going to dull it as well. Yeah, no, don't you just love doing this to a knife so you can practice?
I make a face every time.
Is it like this? Okay, let's see if we have done our job. Okay, we will use that piece of paper later. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is sit the knife down. We'll sit it back on its box. We are going to, I'm going to have you do this on yours. We're going to make sure our stone is flattened. So if you'll just draw a grid. So we have two 1,000 grit stones. I have here the Suehiro DEBADO 1,000 grit stone. Over here we have the Shapton. This is their ceramic. Is it I'm not going to say it right, Kuromaku. I'll have to look it up and put the name on the. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do is we're going to flatten the stone. So we don't know from prior use if the stone was flat. What'll happen is if you're sharpening and you're not using all of your stone, you'll make a dish. It'll actually have a low spot. You'll also feel that it creates a vacuum. This thing is stuck. So you can see that we have a low spot in the middle of this stone. Now, you don't always have to have perfectly level stones for 50-50 knives. I mean, you should want to always use great equipment.
What is the tip? do? Like when you're
So, like, if
hard to get into?
So if there's a low point and I have a long knife that's straight going over the surface, part of the blade isn't touching the low point, so the blade would be touching the two highs and not the low. So if you're a knife polisher, they actually make their knives, their stones like concave and stuff on purpose because they have different shapes of knives. Different
And why
shapes.
doesn't doing that affect the grit?
Okay, that's actually, see, that's why he's on the show today. So, one, it does affect the grit only for a moment. Like, the actual adhesive that's in here has these particles, conicals, in there, and the grit size themselves is a finite size. So even though I'm shredding them off, this isn't really going to change this. It's going to pick particles out, but it's not going to change the size of the particles that are in the adhesive. And so every time we rub, we're really just picking kind of like the popcorn out of the styrofoam.
Oh, okay.
So you can still see I still have a low spot. So I'm still doing the work. Now you can minimize having low spots, and I'll have to get you a flattening stone because you don't have one. Mm-hmm. I don't want to like sit here and just like dig and try to get it, because then I'm kind of defeats the purpose, and I'm like going down and getting it.
Yeah.
If you see this whole sink bridge moving, it's literally like the vacuum is like grabbing the plate.
Maybe he'll feel that on his.
So I actually have two of these. This is the 400, which is more aggressive, and I have 1,000. So I'm going to go ahead and excuse me, I have a 1,200. So I'm going to give this to you to start yours. I'm going to reach underneath here and grab another one. Look at that, it's magic. There's more than one. Do the whole thing. Make sure you get to the back so you don't work in the area. Do go from front to back. And until you see all the lines are gone, and then you're even. So that one was pretty level. I can tell you that's only been used once for a Whetstone war, so you can just sit it across the edge over there. There you go. So we are level. I'm going to turn that up, and I'm going to turn yours up. Okay, so we need to make sure that our workspace, so we have some water in case we need to wet the stone.
Yeah.
So this is called a rust eraser. We have two of them. I think my wife might have one behind her on the counter. I'm not sure. But,
I don't see it.
okay, so the rust eraser is something that you normally can use to remove rust from an item, but we're using it in case we ever get like a lot of buildup on here. We can use this to clean the stone. There's no buildup on this stone, but you can use it to clean that. Like over here, I can use it too. So what's going to happen is as we sharpen, particles from the stone, not necessarily the knife, are actually going to get dirty and build up and get trapped inside the other particles. So like there are particles that are like glued together and they make valleys, and then particles that have been freed from the stone can sit down in between the other particles.
Now is that the slurry?
That's the slurry or muddiness. There you go. The term slurry is used. And so, but load up is what we'll say whenever the slurry has put particles in between the other particles, and it basically just stops the cutting process. Like that, you're rubbing the knife back and forth, but you're not really making the knife sharper. Okay, so now that the stone is good and wet, we're going to take our knife. And
Which one am I?
there you go. That's one you're doing. Your newly dulled knife. Okay. So when you were doing this home, did you like switch hands? Were you able to do one side and then do the other?
You know,
Takes practice.
You know, I actually do think I just go with the one hand and just like I'll.
So you like that way. So we'll talk. We'll go over that just to. So what we're gonna do is we need to put this down, and
Flat.
okay, it's not gonna be flat. We're gonna have to create an angle.
You want it flat, and then I'll go to my angle.
Yep. And so we're going to go to our angle, and if you feel, like if it's flat, you can feel a space. Like lay it flat, and you can actually feel like a space. You can feel your finger, like go like this, And you can feel your finger
Yeah.
catch. And then keep going until you get like nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? So you've done perfect. So he's doing a pinch grip like I do. We do a pinch grip. I like my finger down the spine. That makes it more sturdy to me. I don't know if that's your natural
what I
thing.
got too.
There you go. So
Might be related.
so whether you keep the knife, so if you have the knife very up and down, it would be great if the edge was like very flat. This knife has a little bit of a belly.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see the knife a little bit more across your body. Turn it more. There you go. And so we've got our angle this way. And then we're going to put our fingers on the tip. Now, obviously, we need to be up here. So you did great. So the end had to come up, because if you just do this, what happens is this part of the knife is flat and then this is raised. So he actually had to come up and then like rock it down to the tip. And then so we're going to push back and forth. But here's the thing. This stone has all the abrasive. So your pressure just has to be enough that your hand's resting on it.
Okay.
It's not that you can't press harder. It's a little bit unnecessary. It'll be faster if you press harder. So even though you can get the knife very sharp very quick, keeping the knife, like keeping metal on the knife for like years is important so the knife can last you 20 years.
Yeah.
If you just grind away a lot of metal, yes, it will get sharp and your customer will be happy, but their knife's going to wear out very fast. So we want to get it as sharp as fast as possible. So we've got our hands on the tips, like right at the tip. I'm covering my tip. Okay, and then we're going to go back and forth. He's good, I'm good. He's got water, I got water. So stop. So we don't want to spend too much time in one spot
Yeah.
because it will just wear away.
Moving down.
So we're going to move down. Yep, and so we're going to go back and forth. And make sure you kind of don't hit the same part of the stone, like come over here and come over there.
Because otherwise that's how it dishes out.
So after so many passes, pause. Move your fingers down more.
I think I'm like trying to match you when
Yeah.
I'm more. When we learned over the phone.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more of a like kind of just a long stroke up, and then I'll kind of pick it just my fingers up just a little
up,
more.
and then no pressure on the way back. Push away from you. No pressure on the way
That's where I'm
back.
more comfortable.
Push away from you. But I wouldn't move the fingers for like 3 strokes.
That's what I'm doing.
You can feel that like push and then just let your fingers surf on the way back. And then it's like, do you go back to the beginning or do you stay at the back and then work yourself back up? You could go back to the beginning, or you could stay down here and say, now I'm going to slide back up.
You know, I do think I slide back up. One thing that I'm always worried about is accidentally picking up the angle a bit more.
So once you get to the tip, like I would only do so many passes because we don't want to wear away too much metal. Our goal is to fill the burr.
Yeah. So it'll be.
I want you to feel mine to see if you can feel yours. So.
It'll be on this side? Or?
Yep, it's on this side. So it's not crazy prominent, but it's there.
Yeah.
So what do you talk about the whole thing? Do you feel it right there?
That's probably the most prominent place that I feel it. Because up near here, I'm not really picking up on it as much. And I don't know if it's just due to the fact of maybe the cheaper blade that I've dealt with before.
Yeah, you're having
bends. I don't know if it will bend a lot more compared to maybe a harder steel like this.
So they're just hard. It's harder to get a burr. That's why I want you to feel a burr. So you don't need the burr to be screaming. Like right here is a little bit more prominent. So let me feel yours.
Near the bottom, I definitely have one.
I definitely feel it right here. Like if you feel that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you got it everywhere. Right here, you don't. I don't have it here either. Right here, you don't. So we need to work on those 2 points. So you would go to the bottom and put your fingers on the bottom. Turn your knife more across your body though. Like even more. There you go. Now push away. Rod back. And then feel. See if you feel what you feel right here. See if you feel it down there. And if you don't, keep working in that area.
Yeah, I've almost got it.
Then go to the tip. Go to the area you know you got to work on. Work on all of it. So we've got the angle this way.
Yeah.
Okay. And then make sure that it's making contact.
I know, but I'm trying to get that very tip. So
Yeah. That's good.
up
Put
a
your
little
fingers
bit.
on there. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels
Yeah,
even
probably
all the way
now.
down. All right. So I'm going to do the turnover method. Do you want to try that? Put it in your other hand.
You know, I'm just not comfortable.
He
Like,
said no.
I'm so not a left-handed.
Okay, so if you're going to do it the other way, then your choices are to put it across, raise it up.
Look at how his angle of the knife is.
Okay, so let me show you a couple of things. Hold on. Let me show you a couple of things. One, you can put it kind of across your body level, not angled at all.
Yeah.
You can put it kind of level to where you're pulling back and then let it come up and pulling towards me. Pulling
We have
towards
to be
me.
careful when we're doing it because we don't want to cut into the stone.
Right, but remember it's only going into the stone this way.
Yeah.
So you're like, and I can get out of your way, but let me get right here for a second. You can go like this.
That's what I'm probably more used to.
Okay. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Make sure your angle is good, and I'm able to do it the other way. I am a big believer in people trying this. It is out of your comfort zone. Don't spend too much time in one spot. Okay, so there are those of you who are watching the show that did not see me remove the burr from that side. We're doing a separate episode on like removing burr between stones just to see if it makes a difference, but I've gotten incredibly sharp without doing that. So for those of you who do it, congratulations, that's great. I'm glad you're getting great results. So once you get that heel, feel that whole thing.
Yeah.
Now on this Suehiro stone, I definitely feel like I'm getting load up, where I don't think he's getting load up on that Shapton. I feel like this stone is cutting a little bit less. There's a lot of material here, so I'm gonna like free it up so this stone will cut a little bit more.
I think I've got a great burr on this.
Yeah.
Wait, because
And you feel like it's like even all the way down? It's not like big in one spot and small in another?
I might have gone a little bit more at the heel, but
Okay.
for the most part, it's pretty even.
Okay. So I'm going to clean this stone. You can see the material that has been freed from the stone. Okay, so I'm going to show you a trick. So watch me do this. You've never done this before. So we're actually going to take the blade, right-handed, okay? And you are going to just pull straight. And watch me do it so you see. I'm going to pull straight across horizontally to try to get like burr off. So you're not.
my burr on this side now?
Yep, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just wanting you to go across and keep it level. Like keep the pressure down here now. Now pick your handle up a little bit. Keep the tip down. like keep the contact.
Yeah.
So as the blade curves, you've got to pick your end up.
Yeah.
Okay? So that just helps to remove any metal, and you can do it on the other side if you want. But see, when you did this side, it made the metal, over here.
Yeah.
So it'd be upright. So anyway, those were just some different tricks if you want to get. Another thing is there are people who have like some wood. So do me a favor, hand me that wooden stick over there. Don't grab the leather, grab the other end. Yep. So you could go like this. And that would help pull like any metal burr off the edge.
So just straight.
Yeah, just pull it straight through. So if there was any metal off the edge, that might be a way. People normally use like cork or like other wood that's a little softer. Okay, so that's like a trick. So let's do some edge leading strokes. Okay, this is what I like. So edge leading is we're actually going to take the blade.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to push forward now. So we still want our angle. I'm going to a little bit of hit. So we're going to put our hand evenly distributed, like our weight. Don't make the angle higher. You're higher than you were. Make the sharpening angle the same. Push forward. Pull the blade across. Keep the tip down. There you go. Now put it the other way, facing you. Hand even. Make sure the angle comes up. Make so that right now the heel's making contact. So we need that. So we need that. So watch me. I can literally like ride like this.
Yeah.
And then move my fingers, and then move my fingers, and then move my fingers.
Okay. But we want to try and use the
whole thing. So start pulling the knife that way. Keep going. Keep pulling across. So watch me do that again. See how my elbow flared?
Yeah.
So I went, make a C shape. And flare. Keep pulling across.
There you go.
There you go. Now do the same thing here. Go like this, and then push the edge like that, and then there you go. Now come towards you. Super lightweight, like it's just sitting on. There you go. Nice.
Don't forget the tip on the other side. Flip it over and do it the other way. I'll stay there because I'm not the one doing it.
Yeah, get off. Like there you go. Like there you go. Now pick it up. Start your curve, like curve. Pull towards you and curve. Yeah. So keep practicing that. So pull across. So I want you to pull it this way. You got to make sure this stays level. So put your hand down.
Yeah.
So that hand, make sure that the blade stays down. And pull across.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so you got to pull this way and that way.
Focusing on the.
Okay. But it's a big, I mean, the stones don't get bigger. There you go. Okay, so before we go to another stone, we're going to take a little bit of water, clean that off. All right. We don't have like a dirty towel for us to like wipe with it or anything. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a paper test where we are. Okay. And then we will go to another grit. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off. Take that in here. I'm going to put this on here. So while we're getting a towel to dry that.
They magically appear.
Magically appears. So we'll probably have to put you over here because this thing is so humongous. Okay, so we have a towel for you, towel for me. So we're going to just, not cut ourselves. All right, so the paper test is going to tell us if we got it even. So hand me a slice, hand yourself a slice. Slice. So there, a little bit of a trick is to, you got to go away. So go a little flatter. So I'm going to trade knives with you. Hey, grab yourself a new piece of paper if you need to.
Yeah.
So the part where it's catching, is
Means I don't have it even.
yeah. So let's go back to that stone. Okay. So let me give you that. So for you guys watching, I mean, you know, it's not just, hey, you get a great stone or whatever. It obviously it takes practice. So it's not so much that you have to do the whole thing all over again. Mm-hmm. It's like you can do the whole thing all over again, but I think you can do edge leading strokes.
Okay.
And so
honestly, I think it's just because I probably pick up the angle some places and it misses it.
Okay. So what we'll do then is we will transition this video to the completed version of this and see if it gets better. So go ahead and do another quick sharpening. Give me a fresh one.
Yeah, he's not holding it.
I need to teach you how to like make sure you know how to cut paper. So we got a nice edge. So I want it like, don't pinch grip it. Hold it down here. So what happens is you're creating tension. This hand is kind of going that way while this is going that way. Okay? See that? And see how it was smooth? Don't make a crease.
No.
We don't make a crease.
No, you round it out like this. Oh shit.
And then if it's really sharp, I'm not saying it should after the 1,000, but if it's really sharp, it would bite. I don't expect it to right there. But we're not trying to crease it.
So we're not going to do that. Okay.
So we're not, you know, I mean, it finally caught something. But we're not worried about that right now because we haven't finished it. We haven't put it on leather. We haven't done anything. Okay, so.
Let's get back in there.
Yeah, where are we filming?
We haven't stopped.
Okay, so hey, we're back. So Gabriel got a piece of paper. And let's go ahead and show that we've only still been on the 1,000. So he did both sides of the knife again. Okay, and that was.
Right in the water.
Right in the water. Okay, so that was clean. All right.
Paper mache.
So we'll put that paper's still good. We can still use that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're over here. So you're going to keep your knife in your hand. So I want you to do what you just did. Like you don't have to think about a burr. You can get one, but this stone is harder and smoother. So it's glassier. So I want you to do what you already did.
Okay.
Okay, so you're in there.
Same exact fashion.
Yep.
So I start with the pressure and then
Yep, you do everything that you already did.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna get some water on there.
You have to speak up now.
Okay, hold on. Let's make sure that it's nice and wet. Different. You can tell the difference in the stone, yeah. And so you always want to make sure that the stone is lubricated. It has plenty of water on it now, but if you saw the stone getting dry, you would lubricate it. Now, one of the things you guys might be pointing out in the video is that we did not flatten this stone. It was flattened during the last Whetstone War. It's only been used once in the Whetstone War. I'm sure it is not dig since then, so I'm not worried about flattening it for this video. Did you feel it for a burr? You didn't necessarily.
Well, you said I don't.
You don't necessarily. I'm just asking you to just do it to see if you felt like anything happened.
Like maybe a little bit.
Okay,
Like
if you
just
feel
like
something.
a slight grab on my finger.
Okay, but is it even? Like, is there a low spot or a high spot? Let's make sure that whatever you did, you evenly did it. Talk to us.
I think I can probably hit this bottom part.
Okay.
There's a
So
couple more
for those of you
passes.
watching, like just even results, because that's the difference between like amazing. A lot of times it's time on the stone to get that feel. Just like anything in life, you just have to do it for a while to become, just better at it.
I kind of always miss this belly a little bit.
We all have our spots. I would say that I tend to get a burr on the heel, and I tend to have the middle be like the spot that I'm a little bit low on. It's good to recognize your weaknesses and work on them.
Just the curve's always awkward, you know?
Yep, and so let me grab my knife and show you something on that. So I would tell you, like, you can actually get your wrist in there, and so you can do a little curve action here. So you can try like that motion,
Okay.
so that this is back and forth, and that'll take care of the belly, and when you get to the flat, then you can flatten out.
Does that make sense?
No, I don't want to overdo it. I feel like I got it on that last one.
Okay?
But if it comes to it on this side, maybe I'll try it.
Okay.
So fingers on the spine. With some
Yep, get your
control.
angle right first. Make sure you feel like you got your angle right.
Okay.
And if you guys are listening through the mic, you hear no sound on these stone. This is a 4,000 grit Suehiro. It was the winner of our Whetstone War for the 4,000 grit. Super hard stone, very glassy. A little tip that was told to me in the comment area of that Whetstone War. Again, I'll put a link. You can read the comments. From what I'm understanding, Naniwa actually made this stone for Suehiro. So it would make sense why this is a winner, because Naniwa is just one of those all-star professional stones that's like amazing. So once you've gone back and forth, feel for that burr and see if it's even. All right, time to check it out.
Definitely missing it all on the bottom.
Okay, so it's good to say things like out loud like that. Don't get yourself cut.
I know.
I mean, we got Band-Aids, but
All right, so a little bit more pressure then.
Just maybe a couple more passes on the bottom.
Yep. So for those of you watching, he is pressing with the spine away from him. That's what he's doing, pressure as it goes away. The blade is facing him, but the edge is trailing, meaning the spine is in front, the edge is trailing, it's behind as he pushes away. You see the knife coming back to him, but there's no pressure. His fingers are like along for the ride. He's not really pressing on the way back.
Almost had a close one. I took off just a tiny
Okay,
bit of
another one, that's called
it.
exfoliation. Okay, that's exfoliation is good for the body. Okay, just keep moving forward,
Yeah, and so
The
now
people who
we're
are
doing-
watching are getting bored, like watching
I
your finger.
know.
Let's go. So let's just keep moving forward.
Now we can do some what? What is it?
Do you want to do the edge leading?
edge leading, right?
Okay, so that means
So-
the edge is away from you, and you're
from me.
pressing the blade into the stone, right? And then,
But
yep, keep pulling across, and don't let it drop.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good way to make your knife dull. So now do it towards you. So pull across, and then there you go. So come across, and don't let it fall. So our GoPro said it's out.
powering off.
GoPro's out. So we definitely had some time on there. Okay. All right, so we've done a couple of passes on that. Now let's do the important part, the part that we haven't covered yet. Okay. So the last thing that we need to do, let's get these out of here. Okay, I'm gonna clean your knife.
Yep.
So I would advise you, if you're married, do not use like the really good towels. You might not be married later. The good thing is you can already see that your edge, let's see if we can get a close up here. I think his edge is really nice and even. So like from here down, for someone who's very new, the edge is really nice and even.
There's maybe some slight,
Like a bigger and
some
then a
slight
certain.
imperfections of
Yep.
somewhat amateur, you know.
Yep. So when you see the edge is a little bit bigger on this side, like a little low right there, it just means that it was hard for you to keep the angle.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah,
practice.
just like a little spot, yeah.
That's practice. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do leather. Okay. So I'm going to clean this up real quick.
Put your finger on the leather.
Okay, so we don't want to cut the leather. These things are not cheap. Luckily, this was, again, donated. It arrived in the mail. Appreciate Tony for sending it. It was a great gift to give. Put a link in the description. My wife says that like she doesn't know. Okay, so here's what we're doing. Okay, 20% is amazing on these new phones. My wife's worried about the time. 20% means like you have another day on the new phones. All right, Gabriel. So the strokes are away. And it's just your hand resting on it,
Just leading.
and it's so with this type of steel, anything with a Rockwell hardness higher than 60, you strop at the same exact angle that you sharpened. Okay, so you change nothing. If the steel was softer, we'd be doing some other magic. We're not right now. So you are going to hold this, pretend this is a stone. We do not ever do edge leading.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you do
yeah,
the
just not
normal
pushing
sharpening
into
thing.
it.
So do a sharpen in one stroke only. Like let your hand slide. Let your hand slide. So look, so let me show you what it looks like. So I'm literally going to like,
Kind of like leading, but in the opposite way.
well,
Just
right,
like
because
a
it's
little bit.
trailing. It's not
Yeah.
leading because the edge is trailing.
Yeah.
But the
But what I'm saying,
gentleness-
but the gentleness is there.
Gentleness.
But so my hand is just pressing in the middle of this.
I'm just talking about the swooping motion.
Yes.
When you're pushing it up.
Okay. And then we're going to just turn it over. Fingers in the middle. Okay. So what's happening is the leather is removing any of those bits. So push your blade across. Keep your fingers right in the middle. Turn it over. Pull towards you. Fingers right in the middle. Don't let it fall. Now do that like a couple passes on each. Use the whole leather. So when you have a really good knife, it makes knife sharpening a lot easier because you actually get a burr very fast and you're able to remove it quickly. Your stropping angle is the same as your sharpening angle. Okay. There you go. All right, sir.
Oops, sorry, Mr. Camera.
So you can tell it was quieter.
Yeah.
Yeah. it
So
was smoother.
when it's quieter, it's sharper. You can feel that was butter. That was just butter.
I'm barely putting any pressure.
can-
Okay, now I want you to just use the tip.
Maybe my tip's
See
a
that?
little-
No, you did it. It did it. So now let's do a push. So we're not going to slice and cut it out. We're going to just push. The fact that you push cut
It was good.
is
Yeah.
very good. So let's give you another piece. So that's more than one. So give yourself a push. So put your fingers over here so we can use the paper. Use all the paper, so go right there. Knife straight up and down, just push. Okay, you can't, okay, once you've already collapsed it, let me do this. So once you've already made a little collapse, it won't do it. So we're gonna just push. Okay, so now he wanted to see the fold over.
It's really a roll cut.
This is rolled up,
No
but
crease.
not crease. Okay, so this is bubbly and bouncy. So let's go over here. So on the 4,000, oh well, we caught something there. Let me get a new piece of paper. So we didn't quite get to roll. Let's do a paper towel.
Did get the paper towel though.
You got the paper towel. So sometimes with the bouncy paper, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, because I see cat something.
So we're going to, from the bottom, to see how your edge is. So we got a really clean cut, and then it started to
Just
tear
near
at
the
last
belly
second.
where it's my bad spot, you know?
Yep. So for a person who learned how to sharpen on the internet with camera and people saying battery running low and tripping over cords on equipment you've never used, you made a knife sharp. And so I would just say practice. Luckily, when the camera's off, he has some knives to practice on. Not so great. We have some knockoff, some global. So we will get to practice this when you guys aren't looking, and we will send him home a trained knife sharpener. We thank you guys. Hopefully that was not a dull moment. Definitely it got less dull as the night went through. We appreciate you for being on the show. He actually filmed the behind the scenes episode. If we haven't aired it, you'll see it coming up. We have a mess to clean up, and I know he's excited to sit on the couch and have a moment off. As always, we thank you guys for tuning in every week. We see you on Friday nights, and sometimes we throw you a little nugget on Tuesday nights. It's a brand new year. Looking for a brand new you and a brand new us. He's headed back to Canada to spread all the joy and cheer of knife sharpening and knife knowledge. Thank you guys for joining me.
Hey, I already know it's past Christmas, but you can also get yourself some brand new merch. Come on, guys. Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment. All right. Thank you so much. God bless.